Hi, and welcome to Chapter 18 of Module 154. Is the hemic, lymphatic, Meditastinum, and the diaphragm chapter. Now, this is not a very long chapter, so we are going to just do our slides as usual, but I just want you to understand that I always have my CPT book out open, and I'm looking with you guys. And so if I tell you to refer to your CPT, I have my textbook out. And so I'm always looking at these different resources as we go through. I just think it's a good idea, especially since you guys can pause the lecture and you can stop and look at what I'm talking about or what I see or the code range that we're in, so you can take some notes or you can highlight. Remember, your CPT manual is a tool. Please label, please make notes, please spend time in these manuals, guys. It's just going to make you feel more comfortable and understand what you're coding. If you get in here and you read everything, or you section it off, or you highlight, or you label, the more that you're in your CPT manual, the more you're going to be successful in coding. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, here we go. Chapter 18. This subsection is divided into subheadings of spleen, general, and lymph nodes, lymphatic channels. It's further divided based on the type of procedure, such as an excision, incision, or repair. Spleen 38100 through 38200. Codes for spleen are further divided into excision, repair, laparoscopy, and introduction. So a spleen can be easily ruptured and can cause massive hemorrhage. May require a spleenectomy. A spleenectomy can be total or partial. So let's take a look at spleen in our CPT book, our CPT manual. 38100 is a spleenectomy. Total. 38101 is a partial. And then look at our add-on code, 38102, total in block for extensive disease in conjunction with other procedure. So that you would have to list with other procedure codes. But that's the excision of our spleen. Spleenectomy carries the designation separate procedure. If the spleenectomy is an integral part of another procedure, it is bundled into the main procedure code and is not reported separately. A spleenectomy is often done as part of a more major procedure, so it's going to be bundled into the major procedure. So now we're going to move into our general. So let's turn the page and go to 38204 through 28243. And we have bone marrow and stem cell services procedures, and that's right under general. But the codes are divided based on aspiration, biopsy, harvesting, transplantation, or infusion. So general, again, types of cells are allogenic, which is a close relative. Autologous is the patient's own. Autologous is the patient's own. Hematopoietic, progenitor cells. HPC is bone marrow, peripheral blood, apheresis, and umbilical cord blood. Autologous cells are collected from the patient and reinfused later into the same patient. So why would oh guys, I'm sorry. Take a deep breath. Let's start the question again. Why would it be advantageous to collect stem cells from a close relative? Because there is a genetic similarity. Lymph nodes and lymphatic channels. So let's go to 38300 in our CPTs. So 38300, lymph nodes and lymphatic channels. There are two types of lymphadenectomies: limited, which lymph nodes only, and radical, which is lymph nodes, submandibular gland, and surrounding tissue. The term complete is the same as radical neck dissection. A limited lymphadenectomy reported with codes 38562 through 38564 consists of removal of only the lymph nodes. So let's look at that code range, 38562. And it says limited lymphadenectomy for staging. And then the radical starts at 38700. So if we go over radical, and you can see that it's labeled radical. Lymph nodes and lymphatic channels, 38300 through 38999. 38300. I don't know why I'm looking for that. It's right here. We're still in the same spot. Okay, submental and submandibular nodes, chin area and below the mandible. Upper jugular nodes at the mandibular angle in front of the, I'm not even going to try to say that, sternocleidomastoid muscle. Oh, I get a cookie, right? Middle jugular nodes between hyoid bone and the cricoid cartilage. Lower jugular nodes between cricoid cartilage and clavicle. Posterior triangle nodes divided into groups. Upper visceral nodes by the hyoid bone, and superior metatastinal nodes between common carotid arteries. 38700, 38720 are unilateral codes. So that's just kind of giving us a breakdown of all the different codes that are labeled there. Modified radical neck, removal of all lymph nodes, routinely removed by radical neck dissection while preserving the internal jugular vein and spinal accessory nerve and the, I'm not going to even try to say that again, muscle, which is 38724. Let's look at 38724. Cervical lymphadenectomy, modified radical neck dissection is what 38724 says. And this is a unilateral procedure. Lymphadenectomies are often bundled into more major procedures. For example, a prostatectomy. Do not unbundle and report lymphadenectomy separately. A limited lymphadenectomy may be bundled into a more major procedure. When this occurs, only the major procedure is reported. So how are you going to know? It's going to stay in your medical record. Meditastina, 39000 through 39499. So let's turn there in our CPTs. 39000 Meditastina is the area between the lungs. Okay, so the Meditastinum subheading is divided by procedures and includes incision, excision, and endoscopy categories. Procedures are reported with the use of codes 39000 through 39499. Codes are based on the surgical approach taken to perform the metastastomy, either cervical, which is the neck area, or across the thoracic area or sternum. Now our diaphragm, 39501 through 39561. There's only one category under diaphragm, and that's repair. Most codes are for hernia or laceration repairs, and codes indexed in the CPT manual under diaphragm. And that is the end of this slideshow. Now, that was not very much, and I know that it may not have been the funnest, but let's take a moment. I haven't labeled anything in this section, and I thought maybe we could do that together. So, but it's going to take me hooking you guys up, so just hang on. I'm going to have to move some things around so we can label together. I'm going to pull out my little labeling bag. You guys can see all of my cute little bags that I have to keep me organized. I'll pull that out, and now I'm actually going to move the camera. Let's see if I can do this without making you guys dizzy or sick. Okay, so hopefully that is good enough for you guys. So we're doing the hemic and lymphatic system, and we have our spleen here. Well, I don't think I'm going to use big labels this time. I think I'm going to use some smaller ones. But of course, now I don't know where my marker has gone. Ah, here it is, right here. So I'm simply going to take this one, and I'm going to write spleen. Now remember, this is not a really big section of your CPT, but I have it labeled hematic and lymphatic here, and I have it on a smaller one, and it's attached very closely to the surgery, the cardiovascular system. So the next little bit here, starting at 38204, is general, and it's bone marrow. I'm just going to simply write general, and then I may come back in and put some maybe some big ones. Here I'm just going to put lymph nodes. There we go. And then I'm going to put diaphragm. And Meditastina. And of course, I can't fit that whole thing on there, so I'm just going to abbreviate. Okay, so when I go back into my hempatic and lymphatic, I can see everything that I want. I have my, let me turn you this way. See, I have my spleen, my general, my lymph nodes, my diaphragm, and Meditastina. I know that this is all part of that system because I can see it when I open up to that part. So, okay, so what do I want to do now is I want to just go back in and see if maybe I want to add some big ones. And this is such a small chapter, I'm not going to add any, but I am going to do some highlighting. So let's get back into that. So let's go back to the beginning. And hempatic and lymphatic system, I actually really want to just point out to myself, this is the end of the cardiology section here. And this is where my hemic and lymphatic system starts. So, and I just like to go in, this is just me, this is what I'm doing for me. And really, I don't want to do anything else, but you guys need to get in and read your notes and do some research and do some highlighting and do some, well, I really don't know for this one, it's so small, I don't really know that you're going to have to. But let's enjoy a smaller chapter because coming off of cardiology, I'm sure all of our minds were blown. So it's a rather difficult, well, not really difficult. It just seems to me to be one of the biggest and has such big terminology is what we will say. Now, our next one is going to be on the digestive system, and it's one of my favorites, so I'm excited about that one. But that is the end of our lymphatic system. Let's just put you up here where I can say bye to you. Here, I'll just do it this way. All right, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this little lecture and my little labeling, and have a good afternoon. And if I can do anything for you, please let me know. Bye-bye.